Can you just explain your feeling a little bit? You know, this is coming home to Springfield, 25 years, and just what the AHL All-Star Weekend event really means to the league, to the players, and to the fans.
I think mostly it's a celebration of our league and of our game, and in this particular year, in my 25th year, and it's the 25th year of our All-Star event, to be able to bring it to Springfield, which is our corporate home and our headquarters, has been very special. It's meant a lot to the city of Springfield. Our city has been going through a kind of a redevelopment downtown with the addition of the MGM casino and hotel here, and the building, the arena, has been upgraded significantly, and a new ownership group with our hockey team, and all of that is kind of the synergies of that came together to say, you know what, why not Springfield? And you know, I don't know that we would have been able to say over the years that we thought we would come to Springfield with the event. So it's been great to be here. The response has been fantastic. We've sold out the building last night. Probably the best attendance we've ever had for our Hall of Fame inductions, and tonight's event will be great too. So I think normally asking what the All-Star Game means to the league, it's a showcase event for us, and it's also a chance for us to really kind of bond with our best players. And you know, our brand and our league is all about player development, and it's all about that relationship with young players going on to the NHL. And we've found now over the years that one of the great benefits of our All-Star Game to the league itself is simply those relationships that stay with us as those players move along to the National Hockey League, and or move or stay in our league. That we've made friends with a lot of these guys, and they really respect how they're treated when they come to these events. So that's really important, and it's a chance for fans from all around to come over and see us. And of course, it's that one marquee TV event that we have on national television in Canada and the US. So it's a whole lot of things to a whole lot of people, but it all comes back to the players, really. Like, we want to make sure it's a great event for them.
And coming back to it being about the players and the AHL being a developmental league, can you just speak a bit about the importance of development for young players, even veteran players, and that process of taking the time to develop your game and not rushing and having that process?
Well, I think the sort of history of players who have been moved to the National Hockey League too quick, there's a long list of those players, and it's very difficult to recover lost confidence and recover from not having a proper kind of gestation period, if you will, for the player. And I think today, I mean, I've been in the league a long time, and I think today there's a much better understanding of that with NHL teams and NHL general managers. There is a process, and a lot of young players in our league now are getting more opportunities to go to the NHL almost as a planned development phase, where you'll see a player, a first-year pro, second-year pro, getting 10 or 15 games in the NHL just to get a taste of it, to get a feel for it, to be evaluated as to how he plays there, but not necessarily with any intention of having him stay for the whole season. And so the players understand, I think, that there's a learning process to go through, and we're part of that, and we're pretty lucky for that, because we're able to have a really good competitive league with great players and good competition and lots of energy in our game, because everybody's looking to get to the next step.
Absolutely. And last question, just this year's induction class, what makes this year's inductee so special to you?
I think it's a very, very special class. I mean, obviously, when you look at Don Cherry as an example, and I think people might incorrectly perceive that you name Don Cherry to your Hall of Fame because he's a celebrity in Canada, and it gives added credence to your event and so forth. And it really couldn't be any further from the truth. Like, Don, as a player in the American Hockey League, had an amazing career, and as a coach, he won 5 Calder Cup championships. He probably should have been inducted into our Hall of Fame sooner than this. But he's a key figure in our class. John Anderson, an outstanding coach in our league, and an amazing career in the National Hockey League. If you look up his playing numbers, he was a very successful player in the NHL and in the American League. Was our MVP. It's quite a class. I mean, Brad Smith is an awesome person as well, and 68 goals in 68 games is something that's going to stick with his career forever. And then Murray Eves is a very special inductee, and Murray's health isn't very good right now, and Murray played in the league when I was a general manager in the league, and I never really got to know Murray, but when we made the call to him, we've now been on the phone with each other probably every couple of weeks, because it picks his spirits up to talk hockey, and his family's here, and he's really thrilled. And we're fortunate now in today's age we were able to stream the whole event, and he was able to watch it at home in Minneapolis. close. But he is a really outstanding player, and it means a lot to our inductees and their families to be honored in this way. And we felt going back like to 14 years ago, whatever that was, that we needed to do something to recognize players who might not get to the Hockey Hall of Fame, but that had careers in our league that justified that. And it's probably one of the best things we've ever done. And every time we do these ceremonies, gives you a great warm feeling. And I think it also says a lot about our. We have a great history in our sport, like 83 years of continuous play in the American Hockey League, and so many players and coaches have gone through our league and experienced it. And when and they all look back, and the guys that have gone to the National League, they all look back on their time in the American League as being pretty special. It was like a formative time in their career, and riding the buses and the hardships that go with playing in the American League, it's a special bond amongst players, and pretty much everybody in our business has gone through it. Referees, coaches, broadcasters. So this event always kind of reminds me of all of that, and it's good that we're able to bring people together and celebrate that.
What does it really mean for your dad and your family in general for an honor like this today?
It's nice to be recognized, for that, for what you've done and stuff like that. And I think for Dad, it helps him kind of realize kind of the journey that he went through. I mean, he played 18 years, played in pretty much every pro league that was in existence, and played the one game in the National Hockey League. And kind of looking back, this is just kind of to put a nice button on his career, and that he's kind of made it, and everything that he went through was kind of worth it.
He's so well recognized and well honored throughout the National Hockey League, throughout Canada. But do you feel that the American League holds a very special place in his heart in terms of his career and just player development?
Oh, for sure. I mean, Dad's always, wants to, on Coach's Corner, when somebody comes up from the American Hockey League and gets a first goal or something like that, wants to showcase it. And, he's really proud that he played in the American Hockey League, and he was proud with the people that he played with, and that, back, especially when Dad played, there was only 6 teams, right? So there was only 35 defensemen in the National Hockey League. There's over, 200 now. The American Hockey, every time Dad wants to be introduced and stuff, he says he wants to be known as coach of the American Hockey League, coach of the National Hockey League. So, it means a lot to him. And like I say, our family is kind of rooted in the American Hockey League. My mom and dad met in Hershey, and we were born in Hershey, and lived most of my life in Rochester. Well, the longest in Rochester, 11 years. And that's where Dad's life turned around, from a hockey player to a construction worker to unemployed to coaching, and then to the National Hockey League.
And what was it like for you today, having the honor of being able to accept the award?
It was good. I mean, I wish Dad would have been here. I mean, I'm sure he would have enjoyed himself. And it was funny to talk about Hank Cahan. I mean, I've heard many stories about that wedding and stuff like that. So I think Dad really would have enjoyed himself. But again, I'm proud of my father and what he's accomplished. And he had a tough time when he was in Rochester after he retired from the American Hockey League, and he got laid off in construction, and had to kind of make his way back. So it's just again another thing that you're awfully proud of him, and it was it's great. It's an honor to be here to represent him.
Bit of a different vibe this morning, of course, outside of the rink now for the Hall of Fame induction. What was it like for you to be here witnessing this today?
Yeah, and when I was watching, I was standing by when my 2 games here previously. I came to both ceremonies, but I just wasn't paying attention like I found myself paying attention today. And to be able to share the same stage with these guys, that presented tonight, it was just again, it was just another humbling experience for me. Just very honored that again, just could be up here. And I remember Brad Smith, when my dad was doing the TV for the Wolfpack, he was one of my favorite players, and I didn't realize he was going to be here tonight. And it's just they all talked about how hockey is such a small, close community, and I think everyone got really opportunity to understand what they were talking about.
You mentioned that maybe you didn't pay as much attention in prior years. Do you think that's something that comes with maturity, that maybe the younger players are like, okay, It's a ceremony, we're going to sit through it, it's an event, but do you come to really appreciate the legacy that the league leaves with players and coaches and management as you get older through the league?
Absolutely, and listen, I get it. No one dreams about playing in the American Hockey League, right? You want to play in the National Hockey League, and most of those guys sitting there, that's what they're trying to do, right? So they're hoping that this is just a stop along the way. With where I'm at in my career, the fact that most of my career has been in the American Hockey League, I just we've talked yesterday just how thankful I am, and just the opportunities that this league has provided, not only myself but my family. And unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to spend more time in the NHL, but that doesn't mean that I'm not grateful or happy with the career that I've had up to this point. And again, it's just being here because I'm older and because of the capacity that I'm here representing as team captain. It just gives me an opportunity to thank a lot of people.
Was it a little surreal for you to come to an induction ceremony for the third time and come up on the stage and have your own honor with the league president and with the inductees that are here? Yeah,
I mean, when I said being naive earlier, I didn't remember our captains, come up on stage and being presented an award like that. So I was kind of surprised when I found out when I got here that was going to happen. And I didn't even tell my wife that she needed to be here, and now I feel bad because I feel like she would have liked to seen that. But again, it just goes to show you, the last time I was here, I wasn't really worried about this. I was trying to get to the NHL, and you make the All-Star team. You think, all right, well, next year is going to be my year, and they talk about the 95% of guys that end up moving on, and it just whatever reason never worked out for me that way. So again, I'm repeating myself here, but just very thankful to be provided this opportunity again.
Fun hearing the stories from the inductees.
And they said it best. Hockey guys are such good storytellers. I am not one of them, but I really do enjoy hearing what they have to say, and it's just so relatable. These guys are obviously a couple years older than me, but I feel like the same stories get recycled, and the ones that we hear in the locker room and at team events, team dinners. So just a lot of laughs there listening to what they had to say.